Welcome back to Shadow of the Comet. Yes, this game, it's not an RPG, but it does have a dungeon in it. And this is the tomb of Jonas Hambleton. And right off the bat, we've got a locked gate. Two enticing pillars either side of it, about which Mr. Parker has nothing to say. But yes, this is a puzzle. And I've got to say straight away, if you want to beat this dungeon, you have got to make a map. Okay? You have got to get the old graph paper out and make a map. We need a skull. We actually need 2 skulls. Place one on each of those pedestals either side of the gate.
This mask is somewhat worrying. I have a feeling I've seen it before somewhere.
It looks a bit like a dinosaur, I don't know. So that's one skull. In this room there is a bat. And that bat will kill us. And bats. Has anyone ever been killed by a bat in real life? I don't think so. These spike traps will kill you. They're generally easy to avoid, you just walk around them. And there's another skull in this room.
This mask is somewhat worrying. I have a feeling I've seen it before somewhere.
You have, there was one in the other room. Come on, John. Careful on the way back, of course. The hazards still persist. And this is a very hazardous dungeon. A hazardous tomb. I'm not sure why anyone would make anything like this. If you really wanted to protect Jonas Hambleton, you would just, just put a wall. Be more effective, wouldn't it, than all these traps and things? Just have a wall. Hiding behind a load of puzzles. Oh, of course there are surprise death traps.
Parker, so young, and already in the next
Parker
world.
to the next world in his youth. That's okay. This is why you draw your map. You see, you get your graph paper, you draw your map. You don't have to worry about it.
A human gaze in a block of stone.
I don't know how human that gaze is. These spiders, these 4-legged spiders, will also kill you, just like the bat. I'm looking for a pressure plate in this room. And also trying to avoid the spiders. The 4-legged spiders. They're very similar to the ones in the Alone in the Dark. It should play the same little tune that it plays in Alone in the Dark. More pressure plates. This is the little puzzle. You have to stand on these in the correct order. It's a simple one, the first one. There's another one that is a little more complicated, but you know what? Unless you get it really wrong, it shouldn't take you too long. Two statues in here, and these little inlets in the wall. The trick is to pick them up and swap them over. Put the first statue in a second insert and the second statue in the first. There's something else you can do with these statues, but it is a trap and you will die. So just do that. Just do what I did. Rats also will kill you. These rats, they actually look a bit more like possums, don't they? These rats have a habit of getting stuck in doorways, so just be careful. If you think they're getting stuck, just leave and come back in.
This snake is 10 times the normal size.
Exactly 10 times. He's done the maths, you know. He's a smart man, Parker. Yes, that pressure plate in the rat room opened a gate ahead. Now, what I'm doing here is that you may have noticed in that room with the snake statue that we could, there was another insert in the wall, the same size as these. If you put the statue in that is a death trap, essentially. I'm just showing that once you've done that, you can't pick the statues back up. But of course, if you go either way in that room other than straight up,
Poor Parker.
we'll go to the
So
next
young, and already in the next world.
Gate on the right is now open. These stairs, they will teleport you. They're not like normal stairs. They're like old school stairs. And I don't know what that is, but don't stand on it.
Poor Parker. So young, and already in the next
I'll
world.
suck you towards it when you're in the room. Just be careful. Big death trap in the middle of this room. We're going to walk around it. Don't forget it's there. Write it on your map. Watch out for these spiders. Write them on your map. Watch out for this bat. Don't write that on your map. Whatever you do, don't put bat on map, because that is actually against the law. Rats, though, you can put rats on the map. Yeah, so I left the room there and came back in because both the rats were heading for the door, and they were definitely going to get stuck there. Oh, there you go. You see, one rat stuck in the door. Again, I'm looking for a pressure plate, and there we go. And the stairs teleport you. The stairs, they teleport you, but not randomly. It is consistent. But yeah, you'll always find that you're back in a room you've already been in. When you take the stairs, so you're retreading old ground. Quite a lot here. It's not the biggest dungeon, but you know. You definitely need to make a map. Don't forget, the next room has a big death trap in the middle, so just give it a wide berth. And this gate's now open. Here's a mysteriously empty room. You just know there's a death trap in there. We're going to head down this way first. Oh, another one of these. But there's a secret door in this room. I defy you to figure this out without... figure out deliberately. The only way to figure this out, I think, is by accident. You're gonna stand right, just to the right of the hole. And the secret door will open. And then you come into this empty room. But there's a pressure plate. So that's how you get through there. And that will open a gate further up. There is a logic to all of this. It's very much kind of old school dungeon masters type dungeon crawling. Now these are another pressure plate puzzle. Easiest way to do this is just to do an S shape from the bottom left. Just Take all the stress out of that, otherwise you'll be there a long time trying to figure that one out. You'll get it eventually no matter what you do, but it saves time. Just do that S. Just do the S from the bottom. And here's a big round table with 3 plaques on the wall.
3 times around the earth the sun will turn.
Yes, that's how the sun works. And of course that is a clue. We just have to walk around this table 3 times clockwise to open the gate. There we go. And this is where they keep him.
You will die, Parker. You cannot win. You dare trouble my sleep. And for that you must pay the price.
Listen carefully, Jonas. Your sleep will soon be eternal. Do you hear me?
Your blood will be mine.
It's all over for you, Jonas. I'm going to destroy you and your filthy kind.
Imbecile! You know nothing of my powers. Gaze upon me and implore your feeble god. May Cthulhu grant me his aid.
Well, we need to grab these 4 statues before Cthulhu grants him his aid. And then get the heck out of here. Because he is going to be ready for us. Yes. Cthulhu very much lent him his aid. And turned him into a big... I'm not sure. Some kind of horrific flap monster. And this is where you really need that map. This is where you're going to be so glad you drew that map. Because if you take a wrong turn here, it's all over. Maybe we should take a moment to talk about the music in this game. Or rather, the lack thereof. I don't mind the few tracks that there are. I like them. You know, they've got a good atmosphere to them, but we really need some more variety. It's basically these 2 little tracks. And that's it, and a couple of other incidental ones that don't play often. And I'm thinking of Alone in the Dark here. I'm comparing it to Alone in the Dark. That's where the variety is. But we made it. We escaped.
Thank heavens you are safe.
Thank you for saving my life.
He's exhausted. Walter, help me. We'll take him to the house. Do not struggle. No harm will come to you here.
I don't know how to thank you.
My son Walter told me of your adventure the other evening.
I really must go.
Such impatience. You must rest a little and tell me of your adventure. Walter, hand over the tripod you took from Mr. Parker and leave us, please. I would prefer all this to remain our secret. My son is easily impressed.
Horrible events are taking place in Ilsmouth. If I don't put a stop to them very soon, then even more ghastly things will happen. How lucky I was that you were there.
I take care of the graveyard. We heard the noise. It's not the first time folks have taken an interest in that grave.
Really?
My husband John, God rest his soul, told me of dreadful things before he passed on. We were newlyweds when Jonas died. John went to the Hambleton house for the wake.
Do they still live there?
No. After the fishery went bust and Jonas died, they moved closer to the harbor. Jonas's body was laid out on the top floor of the house. At that time, there was a window in the wall. John looked through, and what he saw was a desert with giant stones and strange creatures.
My God!
John was frightened. He lowered his eyes. On the ground was the sign. Wilbur, who was standing over his father's body, seemed ill at ease. He covered over the sign with a sheet. Well, do you know? The sign shone through the sheet. After that, the window was bricked up.
The sign must have something to do with the curse. If I can place the statuettes on... Let me explain. There are in Ilsmouth 4 families who are trying to help some unspeakably evil gods to return to this world. The gods are called the Great Ancients, and they ruled the world many thousands of years ago. To destroy these families, I must place these 4 statuettes on their houses. Strange words are engraved on the bases of these statuettes.
Who are these families?
Arlington, Hambleton, Coldstone, and Tyler.
I know that Walter hid a drawing of the sign around here. It was a kind of cross, I think. We must find it. I'll look near the fireplace.
Wow. Big exposition dump, and now we need to find this sign.
An old-fashioned wood stove.
Not in there.
Mrs. Webster, come quick. I found it.
Please, hurry, Mr. Parker. There isn't much time.
We better have a little catch-up. Let's check our notebook. As you've seen before, Parker will keep things appraised.
Miss Webster helped me to narrow down the 4 families. Arlington, Tyler, Coldstone, Hambleton. All of them must be destroyed. Sometimes victory costs a huge price. I have seen what is engraved on the bases of the statues. Aya, Yog, Thu, Sot, Rala, Gana, Has, Teep, Naga, Halu, Kalu, Wig, Tho, Naya, Chut, Ter. These weird syllables may build magic spells. Will they be effective on my future fights?
Yes, write them down.
One last warning. Stay away from Jonas Hambleton's house. There's a good chance they're expecting you there. You'll need to wear them down first.
Do you think they're already on to me?
Of course they are. They know all about you. Good luck, Mr. Parker. May God be with you.
And let's have a look at this.
A drawing of a star.
Yes, the sign is a star, not a cross, as Mr. Webster said. And so we head out to take the fight to the streets of Ilsmouth. But what happens if we do take a wrong turn? And run head first into Jonas.
Poor Parker, so young, and already in the next world.
Well, here we go. Into Ilsmouth. And let's ignore Mrs. Webster's advice.
Well, what a fine surprise.
I warned you, Mr. Parker. It's dangerous to wander about at night.
Let me take care of it, Dad. Thanks, Dad.
Hey, Obed, you leave some for me, you hear?
A joke for every occasion. What I wouldn't give to be 20 years younger.
Goodbye, Parker, and good riddance. Poor Parker, so young, and already in the next world.
Well, why don't I leave you with the exhibits in the Lovecraft Library?
This is the most remarkable of all the works by Boston painter Richard Upton Pickman, entitled The Ghoul. Its most striking feature by far is the unbelievable realism of its technique. Such is the greatness of Pickman's art, one would swear it had been painted from life. This unique item is Eric Zahn's viola da gamba. This prodigious musician of German origin, who lived on the Rue d'Orsay in Paris, never performed in public. It was rumored that he played only for certain events, a fact not obscured by his tragic disappearance. The safety systems used on the Tube, London's antiquated subway network, may seem archaic. At any rate, there are accidents of, let's say, subterranean origins, to quote Pickman, against which any form of protection would be futile. The reasons for the disappearance of the famous explorer Amundsen are known to us only by virtue of the manuscript found next to the severed head of Robert Drumgold at 87 degrees latitude south. His body was never recovered. The Dead Sea Scrolls discovered in 1947 are still kept secret. For some learned men, they are in fact famous Narcotic manuscripts. The legend of the flood, like that of Atlantis, is due to far more ancient realities. In his residence at Relaya, Cthulhu influences the dreams of men. Hieronymus Bosch, haunted by strange visions, produced this triptych. The Aztecs hinted of the goddess Orahona, whose hands were webbed. The Orahonis tribes were most probably direct descendants of the great Old Ones. This statue was offered to Jason Wechter, the Boston music and art critic, shortly before his disappearance. There are eternal cults more ancient than humanity itself. Thus, Ithaqua, the Walker of the Wind, is known in Canada as Wendigo, a monstrous caribou carried by southern winds. Closer to our climes, this hideous creature is known to children under the name of Father Christmas. Thanks to this strange ring, or because of it, a Mexican worker named Juan Romero was given a role, a cosmic role in a mine in the west of the United States. These objects were found next to the decapitated body of the lamented Halpin Chalmers. It's difficult fighting with weapons such as these when you're condemned by the dogs of Tindalos. Many travelers, among them the celebrated climber Reinhold Messner, have reported sightings of these creatures on the high plateau of Tibet. Discovered in the Irem of antiquity, the nameless city, this lamp was the property of Abdul al-Hazred before it was buried inside his tomb. It was extracted from that tomb by Joshua Whipple, grandfather of Ward Phillips, and thus came into the possession of the Phillips branch of the Lovecraft family. The activity of Cthulhu's worshippers can be the cause of certain regrettable incidents. The schooner La Salle, attacked off Long Island on 17th December 1819, bears witness to this. This ice pick, discovered in 1933, is all that remains of the two climbers, Mallory and Irvine. In 1924, they set off to conquer Everest. Their downfall was perhaps to awaken certain forces. The Nepalese name for Everest is Chomolonga, meaning the goddess mother of the winds. This strange statue was discovered among the marshes of New Orleans by Inspector Legras in the course of an eventful inquiry. It's not easy to break a man's back, especially when he's a New York detective of Irish stock. But it is difficult to lead an inquiry into cosmic evil, as was the case in the Red Hook affair. These reels contain the greatest fantasy film ever made, The Nameless. It shows horror, the absolute nightmare. In a word, the unspeakable. Unfortunately, this masterpiece by Arnold Keene will remain unfinished, as the director took realism a little too far. This tape tells the story of the town of Zebico, destroyed by a strange creeping fog. Telegraph operator John Morgan had been dead for several hours when this message arrived. The medical bag of Herbert West appeared to the likes of Pasteur or Ambrose Paré. After enlisting as a volunteer in World War I, he worked with enthusiasm wherever others were repulsed by the sight of horridly mutilated bodies. His career came to a brutal end with the outcry that accompanied the results of his experiments. Air conditioning can be vital, especially for someone who has been dead for 18 years. Dr. Torres, who had a keen interest in tissue preservation, was to find out the bitter truth for himself. A museum worthy of its name simply had to own the sadly infamous Necronomicon, written by the demented Arab Abdul al-Hazred. This unique copy was the property of Charles Dexter Ward. It was undoubtedly Lovecraft's passion for astronomy that enabled him to detect those vague cosmic presences milling on the very outskirts of the universe and the endless abysses of the beyond. What gigantic, repulsive anomaly did the Sphinx originally represent? This statue was given to Lovecraft by the famous illusionist Harry Houdini as a token of his thanks in helping him exorcise the horror of his Egyptian nightmare. An interesting indicator of the French branch of the Lovecrafts. After a successful escape from the prison of the Doles, I beg your pardon, of Dole, Garnier made for England, where he passed himself off as a Protestant fleeing persecution. On 6 September 1620, he boarded a ship, the Mayflower, sailing for America. Family chronicles, a much favored tradition during the 16th century, were often embellished by charming, naive drawings. This diary, kept between 1560 and 1580 by Claes Vanderheil, is no exception to the rule. This file contains unspeakable drawings from the pen of Goya, who always repudiated their authorship. King Olaf Tryggvason, who died in the year 1000, tried in vain to bring Christianity to Norway. He is depicted here clashing with a strange marine creature, a deity venerated by the indigenous peoples. The legacies of sacred art include such admirable works as this detail from the Church of Chauvigny from the 12th century. It is still unclear what the builders of these cathedrals used as models when sculpting these demons. This crystal was discovered in the ices of Greenland, among strata dating back to the Miocene. It belonged perhaps to a sorcerer from Thule in the dawn of mankind. It is said that he who stares at it for too long can have strange visions.